it's Stephanie from Oh You're Lovely, where we carry the largest selection of wood flowers in the United States. Welcome back to another tutorial, and today is a surprise for Miss Ivy. If you missed the last video, we did make a witch's hat for her for trick-or-treating for Halloween this year. And I'm gonna make her a broom using this. I find these every year so far in the last couple of years at Goodwill. They're really nice in that they're pretty nice on their own, and they've got the wood sticks around and some twine, but we're gonna zhuzh this up a little bit. Let me show you the one I've done before. So I think this one might have been on Facebook Live last year. And that's what first thing we're gonna do is make this handle, and we're gonna use some different materials to make this go from this to this. Look a little bit more rustic and a little bit more realistic of a broom. And then for Miss Ivy's, we are not gonna do this type of style. I have an idea. We're gonna see if it works. It's how I feel like I start all of these, but I wanted to make a over the top broom, but in a different way than I've ever done before. I'll explain in 2 seconds. First, let's start with the base start of this, and then I will explain my creative idea to just bump it just a little bit more. So the special ingredient to make our broom handle look a little bit more like a thicker piece of a branch is to use this foam clay. It's an air dry clay. It dries within 24 to 48 hours. I'm obsessed with this stuff. I love it so much. And what's really nice about it is once it dries, it doesn't really add a lot of weight to the project. So this will be great for this broom, especially for like a little kiddo holding it, it's not gonna be very heavy, and it's still very soft to the touch. It dries this nice white color. I wonder if you could possibly skip a step and maybe put paint in here to change the color, but we're not gonna do that for this one. That is an idea for future. I've never tried that. But with this, it dries real nice, and then you can just paint it. So it's really nice on that aspect too. So we're just gonna take some, and I am very willy-nilly with this kind of process. And I'm just gonna cover the broom handle. And my thought, once I get most of my clay on, and a little bit, you can stretch out quite a bit, is I'll put in maybe another layer, or what I'll do is I'll start kind of scribing in things or making little swirls to replicate, there's the word, replicate some sort of like knot in the wood to make it look a little bit more realistic. I also will take with my fingers, just kind of smooth things out a little bit. If there's like a weird little ridge, it does look like a melted candle at first, I think is the best way to describe it. Now, the one thing I do want to make sure I cover everything as best as possible, because I am going to want to be painting this. And if I have these weird little spots, the paint's not going to hit the same way. So I definitely want to keep that. So we're going to keep going with this, but what my idea is, oh, I'm missing one piece. Hold on. I don't know what it is with me, but if you remember a couple videos back, I had used like a little test tube to make a vase for a skeleton hand. Well, this time I'm going to use smaller ones. My thought is to be able to put these, and I won't put it up this high, but just an example, put that on there, wrap my foam around it like that's been growing out of the tree, and then I can put little flowers or little pieces of greenery or dried fillers, whatever I want, all the way up the broom handle to a point where, it will stop where it would make sense when you're carrying it so that you're not in the way. I am gonna put this down a little bit further just because I don't want to necessarily have flowers coming up where your hands would be. But I'm gonna do that, and then we'll see how that turns out. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna play with this for a little bit off camera, and I will show you where we're at. So meet me back in 2 seconds, all right? All right, we are back. Here is the final broom. So there's the different little vases coming out. And we've got all of our like little ridges and stuff. And when it dries, you can go back in too. And what I was doing was using just like a wire of some sort and just kind of carving things through. And you can do that a little bit as well for more of the fine details with this as well. So with that then, we're gonna start painting this. I'm gonna play around with this just a little bit more, get a few more details in here now that it's dry, but don't peel it off. And then we're going to, I don't know if it's fully dry. We're gonna try painting anyway, even if it's not fully dry. But I do wanna maybe try to make a few more indentations in here to make it look a little bit more, less like a droopy candle and more like a big bark, log, stick, thingamajig. All right, I'll be right back. Yeah, we're gonna get really messy here. I just grabbed a bunch of different tones of browns in different ways. I also probably need black. Oh, I've got more browns down there. Okay, well, we should be set on different tones without a problem. So I think, how do I want to do this? I don't really know. I think I'm just gonna play. I don't think I'm gonna have like a rule of succession of like, we're gonna go from the darkest to the lightest to the lightest to the darkest. I think we're just gonna play and see what happens and kind of mix and match different colors. I think that's the goal, the game plan. Get your fingers really dirty. So before I do that, I'll get a couple of sour. What is it with sour candy? These are supposed to be extreme. Barely. If you have any recommendations for really good sour candy, I'm on the hunt for it. The broom is turning out so dang cute. So we are at, again, I didn't put anything up at the top, but I've just got the moss kind of growing up. We've got different little vases throughout. So now the flower, where did I put everything? I just hid it. I don't, huh? What happened to my greenery? I don't know where my greenery went, but we're gonna be working off of Ivy's color story from her hat, which, let me show you that again. Here is the hat we made. So I pulled flowers. I have another of the dried roses that we had put in her hat. I'm gonna use the same filler that we used in the hat, as well as I will find the rest of the greenery. I will be using some seeded eucalyptus. Oh, I just saw it. Okay, I just saw it. Here are the flowers I pulled, so similar colors from the last ones from on here. And then the rest, I've got a mix of, this is the seeded eucalyptus. I have some bunny tails in there. I have some little orange flowers. We used some green, like greenish blue ones in our hat up here. I'm gonna see if I have a few of those maybe sprinkled somewhere here in the studio. I think I do. I'll try to add those. And then I also grabbed some like wheatgrass looking stuff, because her theme for her witches vibe, if you don't recall, is death. Her words, not mine. So this is what her interpretation of death is, I guess. So we're going to add in our little bits of flowers and greenery and see how this all comes together. The last thing I have to decide is, am I gonna put glitter on this? Oh, hedge your bets. I'm not sure. I'm still debating. All right, lovelies, here is the finished broom. My camera battery died halfway as I was making this, so we finished it off camera. These little test tubes in here worked so well for this. It basically helped create a three-dimensional kind of bouquet without, it was, I really liked how this turned out. Plus then too, all of those are removable, and then we can make a different colored bouquet if we want to for next Halloween as like a decor piece. It turned out super, super cute. I do still have her witch's hat. So I think the color story, it's We're matching. We're doing a real good job matching. She's not gonna mind. I'll put her hat on real quick so we can see everything together. Whew. Tied it off with a little ribbon just to pull everything together. But goodness gracious. I think I might want to add a few more like sticks at the bottom just to create a little bit more of a, this hat is so cute. She did such a good job on picking the colors and the style of it. She's very got the death, but nature witch kind of vibe going on. So I'm very excited about this. I'm excited for her to see it and have it for trick-or-treating this year. So I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Leave us a comment down below. I will see you next week for another tutorial. If you haven't yet and you love these spooky tutorials or just tutorials in general, sometimes a little chaotic, you never know what's gonna happen, make sure to subscribe and again, ring that bell to be notified every time a new video goes up. Final thoughts, final things to say. I'm so bad at this, I'm not a professional in any way. If you would like to learn about the 150 style Sola wood flowers, craft supplies, oop, something just fell off, and greenery, go on over to ohyourlovely.com. But before you do, let me give you a little treat. Use the code YouTube30 to get 30% off one regular priced order. All right. That's it, guys. I will see you next week. I'm Stephanie from Oh You're Lovely. You, my friends, absolutely lovely. Ooh, goodbye.